So, Dan, I got an interesting question for you. I used to be the director of strategic planning for the agency for Mazda Motors of America. We used to give people Miatas, let them drive them for a month, and then we take them away. It's called a deprivation study. And amazing what you learn. If I were to take this culture that you've just been talking about here, I was to take that culture away from this company and replace it with just the typical culture that really there is no culture. It just drives itself. And we've all been in those kind of companies before. What changes day one if I had to take away this culture and replace it with a traditional culture?
Results change day one. And at the end of the day, and that's what's most important for a business, results and culture, but the culture brings the results. So if we lose the culture, we're going to lose the results right out of the jump, which is obviously a problem.
One of the things that you mentioned in one of our previous conversations was just an amazing retention rate that you attributed large part to this culture that you have on your team. Talk to me about that and why that's so important.
I think it's pretty well known that in sales, the average tenure of a sales rep is about 18 months, sometimes less, depending on what's going on. I will say that we've only had two voluntary exits from my sales organization or my SE organization or my SDR organization, a total of two in 5 years. That doesn't mean we haven't had to move some people out for different reasons or whatever, but somebody rose their hand and self-selected to not be on the boat anymore twice in 5 years. People want to be here. We've got a great culture. We're winning. People are making money. We're having fun. They're valued. We also expect results with all the rest of that, but we do it in a way that is for the betterment of all.
Jamie, if I took the culture away today, what would happen?
You'd have a lot of unmotivated people who would never produce results, is what I would say from my perspective. I'd say retention in marketing is a bit different than retention in sales. I would say my retention has been strong from the involuntary versus the voluntary. The voluntary has been few far in between, and it's for a life shift. I want to go do a passion for something that it doesn't matter how much you pay me or what I do. I just have a passion, and it's not in cybersecurity market. But I would attribute my retention because Dan and I, we always say we have A players. You need to keep A players. You got to get A players. You have to keep them. And to keep A players, you need to, for my team, we're creating as we're growing year over year. We get to create experiences. We get to create new programs. And for marketing people, that's really exciting because we're creative and we like to see something evolve. And we have a lot of passion in what we do. And so I think the newness of what we get to create year over year, when I hear some of my leaders tell me, like when we're talking about, okay, what do I have to worry about you leaving? What's going on here? And they're like, I'm having fun. I'm doing new things. And if you have high performers, especially in marketing, then we do a lot of testing and iteration, or we add new functions under the high performing leaders that can take on more. And so there's just more opportunity. And I think Dan spoke to that. Everyone knows the opportunity in front of them with Key Factor, and we're all in a culture where we know what direction we're heading into and what our why is. And people want to be part of that success. And we have people like Dan who have been and lived and breathed that. So we know when you say, I've been through 3 unicorns, I've been through 3 exits, or we talk about successes, Dan, we've been together. When you've seen the fruits of your labor from prior experience come to fruition, it's like, this is why we do it. We want to be part of something bigger, and we want to have, results and, maybe some more dollars in our pockets at a later date. And that's also when we hire people, you want to hire people that are self-motivated and that are just want to be part of something bigger. And you can't create that in someone. You have to find that innate, just core of who someone is and why they go to work and why they show up and what they're looking for. And that's we hire a talent who fits into the mindset of where we want to go. And I think the other thing, Dan, I know he does and I do, we're very transparent in our hiring practices about what it's like to be here, what the expectation is, the fun that we have along the way. And as Dan will always say, the results that we bring. If we didn't bring results, Dan and I would not be sitting here right now. I'm here and I preach to my team, we're here to be part of something bigger and we got to put in the work to get there. And although I'm an ex-basketball player and if you look in a season, you want to win the championship, we create our own championship every year. And it's on a bookings number, it's on a target, and we are marching towards that. And we are figuring out how to rally around and support and do whatever we can to get there. That's my answer.